chances are pretty good your first experience with public transportation was riding a bus. Maybe it was taking a big yellow bus to school or a city bus to the mall. And of course, there's the bright yellow DART buses that wind through the streets of North Texas, from Plano to Dallas. You're listening to Mobility in Motion, a podcast produced by Dallas Area Rapid Transit. I'm your host, Nadine Lee, President and CEO of DART. DART operates about 700 buses on 100 different bus routes, and we have about 6,800 bus stops. We have over 1,250 bus operators, and it takes a really special kind of person to operate a bus. I mean, if you think about it, the bus operator's not just driving on the streets, they're navigating the streets, right? They're negotiating. We call them the negotiating Zen masters or the traffic negotiating Zen masters. And so it takes somebody who has great patience. It takes somebody who's very kind and caring. A lot of times they know their passengers super well. Sometimes it's super exciting. Sometimes it can be really frustrating. These bus operators really have some great stories to tell, and we wanted to hear why they do their jobs and what makes them enjoy their jobs.
Ooh, I like that. I feel like I'm a star. That's what I tell my wife. And she asks me, why? Because when I'm driving and all the women's, young, old, small, short, tall, whatever, any kind of woman see me and they just run to me, screaming and hanging hands and saying hi, and when I stop, they give me a big smile. And I feel like a star, like a movie star. My name is Raul Abarca, and I have been working for DART 27 years.
I was that little girl that wanted to be a dancer, always had energy. But now that I'm a bus operator, it's just so funny that I can remember always loving from my mom to put me in a shopping cart. And I used to get adrenaline. Like, Mom, go faster, go faster. And I used to watch the wheels. My name is Lorelei Chacon, and I've been working here a year and 1 month.
I always wanted to drive. And that's my thing. Actually, I've been driving since 14. I taught myself. When I was young, it was me and my cousin, me my age, and my grandmother used to go to sleep, and we used to take a station wagon out the yard. He used to push it back, and I'd bring it back, and we actually taught ourselves how to drive, and we made sure the station wagon was back at the house before, 4 o'clock that morning? Well, she actually found out. She said, I'm going to get y'all. That's why I put them switches on y'all. And I've been driving ever since then. My name is Juanita Jefferson, and I've been employed with DART for 4 years and 9 months.
I actually became exposed by being a Lyft driver. Someone was a bus operator, and she actually works at this division. And she was like, yeah, I think you would be a great operator. But one thing I could say that makes my job exciting is making these crazy turns. When I say crazy turns, meaning like when there's construction, saying, whoa, like, how am I gonna do this?
I was driving 18-wheelers, and I got tired of my hands being dirty on the truck. If it was a man job, I seen the Greyhound bus go by again, and I talked to a Greyhound driver, and he told me how to apply, and I applied for it. I was a Greyhound operator for 12 years. And I wanted to come off the road. And when I used to pass by the bus, I used to say, I'm going to come drive for this company one day. And so the day happening when I just kind of got exhausted over the road, and I applied. And I was shocked. They called me like it took them a week. And I applied, and I ended up taking a test, and I ended up working here. And I've been here since then.
My first day by myself, I was nervous. I was trying to motivate myself, tell myself, like, Kendrick, you can do this. You got this. You don't need nobody help and stuff like that. And then as soon as I pulled out, I got lost. Got lost on the route.
My first day being by myself, and I was just so nervous and scared about it. And I missed my turn.
Oh yeah, I've definitely gotten lost on a route.
My name is Kedrick Alexander. I've been at DART for 17 years.
My name's Ria Famalsili, and I've been working here for a year and 5 months.
I drove an articulator bus. Articulator bus is two buses together, connected, and I had a field there with a lot of people, and I say, hey, listen, if anyone wants to make it home, please tell me if you know any other route to get back and route. And that's what I did, and they told me, oh yeah, get in here, and they direct me, and I was back there. They were nice because they realized that I was in trouble. They were trying to help me.
It was people on the bus, they told me where to go. They helped me out. I got back on track. I was lost for like maybe 20, 25 minutes. I had some people that were like, yeah, turn right here, which wasn't the right way, or stop right here, and it's in front of their house. So, yeah. But I didn't get lost anymore because I studied. I got in my car and drove the routes so I wouldn't get lost again.
The first time I did the 22, it was rush hour after work. Tons of people on the street and a lot of passengers, and it was warm, very warm day, and I didn't make a right where I was supposed to, and I had no idea where I was going, and I'm looking, and then you've got a bunch of people in the back saying, hey, you were supposed to make a right turn. Back there I said, oh, okay, hold on. I had to pull over, I had to pull up some maps, I had to look at it, I had to study it. I said, okay, here we go. I let them know, you know what, I'm a little lost, I'm new, but I'm going to get you to where you need to go. By the time we got to the station, I got a lot of, hang in there, it'll be all right, you're going to get better, so it was like they understood, and I seen them again, they're like, how you doing? I'm doing a lot better, so,
People come telling us their marriage problems, their personal problems or financial problems. When I started, I just thought it was going to be driving a bus, picking people up, dropping them off. I didn't know I was going to have to, be a psychiatrist, a referee sometimes. I guess in my mind, I thought it was just drive. That's it. But now that I realize you actually have to have social skills. You actually have to have like social skills and being able to defuse, de-escalate, motivate, stuff like that, because I've had people tell me, thank you for listening to me, or thank you for allowing me to speak my mind, or giving them advice about my personal experience that maybe they can use to, deal with stuff. I had one woman and she almost made me cry because she said that I saved her life because she was going to go home and hurt herself. But talking to me, she said that I gave her a new outlook on whatever it was that she was going through. And so I told her that, because I told her like some of my personal experiences that I've been through in my life, and I said I'm still here and I'm still strong. So she said I saved her life. I'm a spiritual person. I don't go to church as much as I should, but I'm very spiritual. And I'm like, man, you just gotta sit, pray, meditate, pray to whatever God that brings you peace. He didn't put you here for no reason. And my favorite quote for me is always, you got to swim through the muddy water to get to dry land.
She said she was going to the church. They said that they feed the people, and she was hungry. And I said, what's going on? And she started telling me her story about why she was hungry and all that. So along the way, I was thinking, I'm going to give you $5. That way she can buy a Mexican sandwich. And then I said, no, I'm going to give her $7 to go to the Golden Corral over there on Forest Lane Station. Forest Lane and Whitechapel, there's a Golden Corral store. And then I said, oh, but she's going to need an iced tea. So I'm going to give her $10. Back on those times, $10 it was for the iced tea for the buffet. And then I said, who wants to eat alone? I'm going to give her $20. That way she can invite her husband to eat together. And then I went, they don't need to go to the buffet. They only need food on the table on their house. So I pull out $50 and I give it to her, and I give her right back to Fiesta. And I give it to her, and she looked at me and she said, why? I said, well, don't you were crying for the Lord to help you out? Now that the Lord is helping you out, why you don't want to take it? And then I told her, I say, if you ever need anything again, come in and see me. I never saw her again in my whole life. So I don't know what happened with the lady, but I gave her $50, which this was in 2001. Why do I remember 2001? Because a month later, I did the bus rodeo, and it was my first my first time that I won the bus rodeo. And guess how much it was the price? $500.
You got to pay attention to everything and everybody. You know, you got to drive for other cars and for yourself. I'm pretty much a people person, so I can adapt to people's different attitudes, mindsets, or stuff like that. I don't like to try to, you know, look at all the negative stuff or even the difficult stuff. I just try to simplify everything to where it don't stress me out or anything like that.
We had a person in downtown Dallas walking on the street fighting with invisible men. One day he got on my bus and then he sat down close to me, and when I took off, he started fighting with the invisible men, and the people got scared and moved back to the back. And I go, gosh, what do I do? So I put my parking brake, opened the doors, put neutral, and I went straight to talk to the invisible man. And I told him to leave my friend alone. You're gonna get out of the bus. And I acted imaginary, like I was grabbing him and kicking him out of the bus, which not a real person, invisible. And then when I went and sit down, I told the passengers, he's out, he's not bothering you anymore. I closed the doors. So when I put my seatbelt and I'm gonna take off and I look it on the mirror, people were with their mouth open and eyes open, looking at me like, what? And I go, oh shoot, now they're gonna think that I'm crazy too. But I did what I had to do to calm the guy, because the guy had his hands really close together, really quiet, and made the ride smooth.
Wow.
Right, so you had to figure out the way to deal with all those things.
So the difference with, in my opinion, and my experience with being a bus operator as a female, is you don't get as much respect. And this isn't true. I mean, I definitely have to run a tight ship sometimes with certain people who can be, you know, a little aggressive with women. Whereas I notice the same the same passengers are not like that with men. Because I've asked, and they're like, "Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah, he doesn't do that with me. He's a man. That's why." So it can be very tough being a woman, but you know, I love the challenge. I'm always for it. You know, that's why I'm here, and I don't complain.
You get a chance to meet good people. Some people say it's stressful, but I don't find it stressful for me, because I know how to control me. You have to control you and have yourself under control to be working up on a bus and dealing with different attitudes and different peoples. I don't, you know, they get on there with all that cursing and everything. My grandmother always taught us when we was young, silent is the key. Just don't say anything. And then, you know, just let a person talk. Because two people, it take two to argue. She always told us that when we was little. So she said that just be patient and just be silent. So I just let them, you know, have a moment. I don't look down on nobody and just judge nobody because of what they are. Because one day, I don't know what can happen to me. It could be me. If I know they homeless, first thing I'm going to do is offer them my food. Then I said, take my food. You know, I gave him my Taco Bell. He went and sat down on the bus and he ate it. And he said, thank you, bus driver. I really appreciate it because I was hungry. And then I gave him $5 and he got on out the bus and he looked back like, oh, I just cursed the lady out. She still gave it to me, you know. So to this day, when he see me, he wave, he speaks. No matter what his situation, if he out there throwing bricks or whatever, he see me, he wave, he speak.
So Dallas is known for having a hard freeze every year. In between the end of January, the beginning of March. So it always freezes. And we always go out on our routes, no matter if it's freezing or not. And it's like every time it freezes, that's the strangest day. I was going down a street one time. I had picked up this one lady. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. And it was on a narrow street. I hit a patch of black ice. So the entire bus spun around in the middle of the street. It spun twice. I didn't hit any cars, didn't hit any curbs. The lady, she was just screaming in Spanish, like, la, 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 just screaming in Spanish. And I didn't know what she was saying, but once the bus stopped spinning, after I had picked her up, she got off the bus and walked home. She was done. She was done. And I was done too. I took the bus back to the garage and I'm like, yeah, I don't feel safe. Yeah, so that was it for me. Even though we might drive the same routes on some days, it's always something different that you may experience, see, dealing with different people. So yeah, that is. I don't like doing the same thing every day, so that's pretty good for me.
I feel like when I'm driving, I know people have to go to work, they have to be where they have to be, and that's my job to do that. And I want to get them there safely. And I'm driving not just for me, I'm driving for everybody that's in cars, everybody around me. I feel like they my family when they on the bus, and I try to keep it as if they my family. Even especially when I see females with children, they're on my niece, those are my kids. I tell them they my people because their life is in my hand. I'm the one in control of the bus. I'm the captain, so.
Special thanks to Juanita Jefferson, Raul Abarca, Lorelei Chacon, Kedrick Alexander, Ria Famosili, and all our bus operators who shared their stories, and a debt of gratitude to all other operators at DART and across the country who get us to our destinations safely. If this story inspired you to consider a career as a bus operator, then check out our website at dart.org/careers. And the next time you ride a bus, be sure to thank your operator. I promise you, they'll appreciate it. This has been Mobility in Motion. I'm your host, Nadine Lee. We'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to share your feedback, please email us at mim@dart.org. This episode was produced by The Glue and Neely Allel, edited by Jim Gates, with music by B.C. Campbell. If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe and tell a friend. Episodes come out every other week and are available on your favorite podcast platform.